The following video is not made for kids. Viewer discretion is advised. Hello to my subscribers. This is the TFangy coming to you with what will be hopefully a quick and successful collection haul video, collection update. So here's my latest haul of Transformers action figures courtesy of Amazon.com. Just 3 figures today, so it's a pretty small update. But it's one that I'm thrilled to finally have in my collection. So first up, we have 2 action figures from the Age of the Primes line that I wasn't able to collect when I got a bunch of them a few weeks ago from Amazon. And that's because these are arguably some of the most sought-after figures from the most recent wave of Age of the Primes. So first up, we have Deluxe Class Combaticon Blastoff. I originally was hesitant about getting the Combaticons since ever since the picture of the CGI render of the final version of Age of the Primes Bruticus's combined form was revealed, which is the box art here on the side of Blastoff's box. Because ever since that was revealed, I haven't been too much of a fan of how Age of the Primes Bruticus looks in his combined mode. I got Vortex last year when he came out just to complete the Age of the Primes figures that came out in 2025, but after seeing mostly positive reviews of people who managed to get Blastoff when he first came out, I decided to change my mind, and I decided to get the Age of the Primes Combaticons after all. So hopefully I'll be able to get a hold of Onslaught and Swindle, who are the last 2 of the 5 Combaticons coming out later this year in 2026. So since I got Blastoff, of course, I also had to get Voyager class Brawl. So yeah, Hasbro decided to make Brawl and Swindle, the Combaticons who form Bruticus's legs, a Voyager class size instead of Deluxe class sized. Swindle is going to be slightly smaller than Brawl, since Brawl transforms into a battle tank and Swindle transforms into an army jeep. They were able to make Swindle Voyager class size like Brawl because his laser cannon and then transforms into a howitzer cannon that Swindle has towing behind him. And an interesting idea for Swindle, but who knows how it'll work out. There's been product images of Swindle that only came out just recently, but not too many showing off his posability and all the joints he's able to do. So one thing to note is that on this version of Brawl, and also the copy of Blastoff that I got from Amazon, I got these on Amazon resale. There was a disclaimer on Amazon saying that the boxes on these guys were damaged. If there's any damage on Blastoff's box, I personally do not see it. I mean, there are some scratch marks on the front of the box here in front of his artwork. If my bedroom lamp shows it off, you can kind of see the scratch right there. It's in front of my finger. If that's the box damage, then it's less extensive than the damage that Brawl's box came in. Something punctured the top of Brawl's box and actually tore a chunk of the plastic window away and ripped the cardboard here on the end. This tape right here, it wasn't on there originally. I just put it on right now before I started recording. Probably should have waited until after just so you could see what the box looked like when it first came in, but point is, Brawl's box got pretty banged up a bit, and so I was able to get him at what I felt was a very decent discount price tag. I believe I should have verified before I started recording this review. Going back and looking at how much I paid for Blastoff and Brawl. See if I can bring it up really fast just to share with you guys, but so for Brawl, I only paid less than $36 for him, and with Voyager class Transformers now retailing for close to $45 a piece, that's a really good deal to get him with the box slightly damaged. And then Blastoff, the average price for Deluxe class Transformers right now is about $40. Is about $35, and with sales tax, where I live in California, the price of a individual deluxe class Transformers close to about $38. So for Blastoff, with the shipping, with the sales tax and shipping fees, I paid $33 for Blastoff, so $5 less than what I normally would have paid for him. So pretty close to price tag, but for Brawl, pretty close to retail price for Blastoff. But Brawl, I definitely got a good deal on him just because something decided to puncture his box and leave a hole on the top of it. Amazon said that the Brawl figure itself inside is undamaged, and from what I can see looking through what's left of the plastic window, which is mostly the front section of it, Brawl is undamaged, and so I'm really looking for, now that I have him and Blastoff added to my collection along with Age of the Prime's Vortex, I'm really thrilled to see what Onslaught and Swindle look like now. As I said, I'm still not a fan of Bruticus's combined mode, but the individual Combaticons all look really impressive. And lastly, just to wrap up the review and keep it under 10 minutes long, the third and final Transformers action figure I added to my Transformers collection is one that I've been one that I passed up at first because I didn't like the paint job of it, but then after seeing review after review of the figure and learning the history behind it, and then my own personal motivation for wanting to get this figure, I finally changed my mind. About 1.5 years ago and wanted to get this Transformers action figure, and every time I wanted to get it on Amazon, it was either going for double to triple the price it originally retailed for when it was released, or it was always sold out. A copy came up on Amazon on this month, and even though it was triple what the original price for that the figure originally retailed for when it first came out, I figured, you know what, even though I'm paying a scalper, this is probably going to be the last time I have a chance to add this Transformers action figure to my Transformers collection. And so, without further delay, here is my most recent Transformers acquisition, apart from Age of the Primes, Blastoff, and Brawl. And it is this action figure right here. And this is the Transformers Generation Selects Galactic Man Shockwave. So yes, I finally added Galactic Man Shockwave to my Transformers collection. I didn't like his mostly gray paint job when he was first revealed and first came out back in 2019, but then in more recent years, after learning the history of Galactic Man and how it's a nod to Radio Shack's release of the action figure that became Shockwave before he was a Transformers character, I decided this is the most unique version of the Seed Shockwave mold to have ever come out. It was recently announced that Shockwave is going to be one of the Transformers characters to be given an action figure in the Studio Series 86 line later this year in 2026. Shockwave is going to be a Voyager class figure, and whether or not he's going to be a retool of the Leader class Seed Shockwave figure from 2019, which Galactic Man is a straight up repaint of, or if he's going to be a brand new mold, I don't really know. I haven't looked at too many of the photos that have been revealed of the upcoming Studio Series 86 Shockwave action figure, but yeah, it is nice to see how, it is a nice throwback to how bland the Transformers boxes that were originally sold in the Generation Selects line when it was first launched back in 2018 and 2019 and 2020. And it wasn't until the Legacy line in 2022 when the packaging style for the Generation Selects line changed and became more elaborate than what it is now. So yeah, for those who haven't only been collecting Transformers action figures recently, and you might have heard stories about the Transformers Generation Selects line, Hasbro had announced a couple of years ago, I think it was 2024, they announced that the Generation Selects line was going to be discontinued, but then last year in 2025, Hasbro surprised everyone by launching a handful of Transformers action figures in the Generation Selects line, so the Generation Selects line was brought back after a brief hiatus. ATIS, and when they were first launched back in 2018, this is what the Generation Selects line looked like. It was a mostly unpainted brown cardboard box with the only markings on it being the Transformers War for Cybertron Trilogy logo, since that was the subline of that was the mainline Generations available at the time. Then you got the a black spray painted Autobot logo that wrapped around the corner of the box. Logo again on the front. I don't know what this word in Cybertronian hieroglyphics is, but then the only indication to the Transformers character you got inside the box was a name of the character on the labeled seal that sealed the box shut from being opened until after it had been purchased. So and then there's the original Generation Selects logo, Word Generations and Selects with the Transformers Generations logo with the Autobot symbol on top, and Takara Tomi's logo there. Hasbro's logo is on the other side here, but it's being covered up by a barcode that was put here on top of the person who is selling this figure. But yeah, I'm just really thrilled to finally have this figure in my Transformers collection. The main reason I decided to get Galactic Man, Shockwave, and add him to my Transformers collection is because I'm going to repurpose him, and by repurpose I mean just imagine him as being the shattered glass version of Shockwave. I was really hoping that the third use of the Siege Shockwave mold, of which Galactic Man Shockwave is the second version, I was really hoping that Shockwave would have been one of the characters to be released in the Transformers Shattered Glass line by Hasbro, or even Takara Tomy as an exclusive, because ever since the handful of Transformers Shattered Glass action figures that we got were released, I felt that there were too few heroic Decepticons from the Shattered Glass universe that got action figures. But then I figured I could get Galactic Man Shockwave to use as the Shattered Glass version, even though the paint job is all completely wrong, and I am fully aware in the Shattered Glass comic books that Shockwave was mostly a neon green instead of the dark charcoal gray that Galactic Man Shockwave is. But when I eventually get around to reviewing this figure, I'll explain my motivation for wanting to add him to my collection of Shattered Glass Transformers. So that's video's gone on much longer than I wanted it to, so I'll hurry and wrap it up right now. So this has been my most recent haul of Transformers action figures, all courtesy of Amazon.com. I got the two newest members of the Combaticons, Age of the Primes, Deluxe Class Blastoff, and Voyager Class Brawl. All in, yeah, I'm really impressed and happy to finally have them in hand. And here, as with my past combiners, I'm going to wait until I have all the team members before I unbox them and do a review of them. So I'm really hoping that Swindle and Onslaught get released sometime soon. And I was able to finally snag, after having to wait for, 7 years ago is when this action figure is released, but I finally managed to add Generation Selects Galactic Man Shockwave to my Transformers collection. So yeah, Shockwave is one of the nicknames that a lot of fans and collectors give him because he was originally sold at Radio Shack. So thank you guys all so much for watching. This has been the TFN Geek, and it's next time, you guys. Remember, collecting is a lifelong hobby. As long as you love it, it's a hobby that can last forever. And please remember to stay safe, stay healthy, and until next time, you guys, transform and roll out. Goodbye, everyone.